Hi, my name's John, and I'm going to start off this Pecha Kutcha presentation by talking about a pioneer in the shipping and cruise line industry, Sir Samuel Cunard. Born in Canada in the late 1700s, the pictured Sir Samuel Cunard shipping line quickly became one of the largest in the U.S. at the time. Transporting goods like produce and mail between the Northeast U.S. and Western European ports, Cunard was a major player in the early 1800s economy. However, once the steamship became available for Cunard to purchase, he recognized market potential for luxury travel excursions between the U.S. and Europe in addition to mail carrying, and in 1840 the passenger branch of the Cunard line was formed, on the flagship steamboat which is now pictured, the Britannia. The Britannia capitalized on the upper-class market in the time, and Cunard's quick success earned the cruise line 4 additional ships, and they were able to expand the route network as well, to rapidly growing cities like New York, as well as cities in Virginia. The Cunard Line is considered to be one of the first leisure travel companies, featuring first class, which was called cabin class at the time, accommodations. The restaurants and amenities on board were top of their class for the time, and as you can see from some of the advertisements that are pictured, the Cunard Line popularized the idea of enjoying the trip to the destination just as much as the destination itself, an idea that has remained with the travel industry today. Although the Cunard Line's initial passenger voyages were only for the cabin class or first class accommodations, in the early 1900s, given the boom of immigration in New York, Cunard quickly realized the potential for carrying passengers en masse between the two countries, and in the early 1900s he formed a second class of service on most of his voyages. This class is similar to what we consider coach class on airplanes today, and was designed to help immigrants from Europe move to the U.S. With a cheap and affordable option. However, with the advent of airplane travel between the U.S. and Europe in the early to mid-1900s, and more modern cruise lines adding competition to an already then slim market, the Cunard Line last voyage concluded in 1940 as pictured, when its last ship, the Queen Mary, sailed into the port of New York.
Taj Hotels is a chain of luxury hotels with a philosophy of service excellence by providing high levels of personalized service and innovative ways of improving their service quality. They foster a sense of belonging by taking into account the hotel's architecture, landscape, and knowledge that stems from local culture when creating an experience. In the early 20th century, the best hotels in Bombay, now Mumbai, were run by British and discriminated against Indian guests due to their skin color. The first luxury hotel to be open to all was built in 1903. Jamsetji Tata founded the first hotel under the Taj Hotel brand, the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel. It was the first hotel in India to be installed with electricity, German lifts, and Turkish baths. The Taj Mahal Palace became the best hotel in India and continues to remain so today. Following the success of the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, Taj Hotels continued by converting former royal palaces in India into world-class luxury hotels. In 1974, the Taj Group opened India's first international deluxe beach resort in India, Taj Fort Aguada Beach. In 1980, the group created its first hotel outside of India, in Yemen, the Taj Sheba Hotel. Taj is the leader in Indian hospitality and now has 68 hotels in 11 countries across the globe that are recognized for their warm and intuitive service, and over 33,000 employees working to maintain the Taj standard.
The Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai is the most famous of the locations. The architecture of the building is astonishing, and having the location be right on the water gives guests a view that they are always looking to go back to. It has received a 5-star rating and has maintained the luxury brand of Taj since the inception of 1903. The Taj Mahal Palace has 560 rooms, 44 suites, and 9 restaurants. The Taj Hotels are the top luxury hotels under the larger company of the Indian Hotels Company Limited, or the IHCL. According to the IHCL annual report for 2019-2020, Taj is ranked at the very top of the strongest Indian brands, receiving a AAA+ brand strength rating. For a little perspective, Apple, Amazon, and Google all did not score this high. They amassed a total of 45,960,000,000 rupees, which equates to around $626 million in revenue in 2019-2020 alone. When considering the COVID outbreak, this is quite impressive. While being an old hotel group, they have managed to maintain their dominance in the hospitality industry by incorporating traditional culture into their accommodations. They have a motto that they have stuck with, which is like always, like never before. This shows how ingrained their roots are to staying true to themselves and their culture while continuing to innovate and pioneer in the hospitality industry.
Now on to James Hemings, who was an African American who was born in Virginia in 1765 and died in Baltimore, Maryland in 1801. He was the very first American to train as a chef in France and made waves in the hospitality industry. In Hemings' early life, he was a slave to Thomas Jefferson, and later, upon Jefferson's bequest, Hemings accompanied Jefferson to Paris in 1784 in order to learn the art of French cooking. He eventually mastered his culinary skills and went on to become Jefferson's personal chef de cuisine. Hemings made substantial headway in the hospitality industry. In 1794, he transformed the dining at Monticello, Jefferson's plantation, aided by his French cooking skills. He paved the way for future American chefs to go on and succeed, and left his culinary footprint in places such as Philadelphia, Baltimore, and maybe even Europe.
Following Hemings' release from servitude, he set off to travel the globe. Sadly, his destinations were not recorded, but through some of Thomas Jefferson's found writings, he was believed to travel internationally, most likely France and Spain. It is said that Hemings was encouraged by Jefferson, now a friend of his, to stop his travels and save his money, hopefully to open up a restaurant. Hemings began to work as a chef in a local tavern in Baltimore. Soon after hearing news of this, Jefferson reached out to Hemings and offered him the job of White House chef. Hemings wanted Jefferson to write him a personal letter asking him for his services and detail how much he would be paid. Jefferson declined to do so. Jefferson did not end up sending a letter and hired a different French chef for the role. Although Hemings did not work as White House chef, Jefferson retained him to work as head chef at his Monticello estate in Virginia. 2 months after Hemings began working at the Jefferson estate at Monticello, he committed suicide. It is recorded among Jefferson's diaries that he committed suicide due to a drinking problem that he just could not shake. Nevertheless, he was an important part of American culinary history, as well as African American culinary history. He was an inspiration to many enslaved chefs and brought his own twist of French cuisine to the Baltimore region.